Hi, it's Mr. Kane here, and this time we're going to try and understand what's meant by all the letters and numbers that we see in chemical formula or molecular formula. So first of all, what exactly is this molecule that we're talking about when we have these chemical formula? So it's just a collection of atoms. They're joined together by chemical bonds, and they have a definite way that they're arranged around each other. So here's some examples here: hydrogen, water, ammonia and methane, and you can see we've got atoms of various types and sizes held together by chemical bonds in a definite sort of three-dimensional arrangement. Quite tricky to draw on that, so we just use the shorthand version using the letters and numbers, that like this sort of thing that you see here. So that's our shorthand version. That means the molecule above it. So what are all these letters and numbers telling us? So we've met this before, and we know that when we react stuff we get products. We've got our word equation that we can use, symbols and arrows to explain what's going on, and we can use the formula. So the formula that we've got here, this is like writing water but in chemical shorthand using the symbols. We've got the arrow to tell us which way the reaction is going. So we've got reactants on this side and the products are over here. But what we're really interested in now is the other bits around the formula that tell us what's going on. The subscript, this little number here, and the coefficient, which is the big number in front. What exactly are they telling us? So what does it tell us? Right, here's our formula. So H2O, hopefully you all should know that that's water. What have we got here? So water, we've got two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So we can see that by the symbols that we've got. They tell us there's two elements, what they are, hydrogen and water. Two atoms of hydrogen, because we've got this number 2. Now it's a little number, it's written a little bit below where the line is. If you're writing things on a line, a little bit below that, it's called the subscript, and that applies to the letter in front of it. So that tells us we've got two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. There's no number there, it's just one symbol, so one atom of oxygen. So the meaning, letters are the symbols of the elements, hydrogen and oxygen in this case, and the small number shows how many atoms there are of the element in front of that small number. So it applies to only the element in front of the small number. So there's our water molecule. Oxygen atom there, hydrogen atoms there, symbol H2O. Now what's happening here? We've got a big number 4 in front of our water molecule, H2O. The large number shows how many complete molecules there are. So we've got this large number in front, and that's applying to the whole thing after it. So that's like 4 lots of that. It's like me writing the H2O out 4 times. So it applies the whole thing in front of it. So I'd have 4 molecules of water in this case. Sometimes you get brackets around things, and the brackets apply to the symbols and numbers that are inside the brackets. So for example, in this case here, if I had brackets here, that would be 4 times that 2, which would be 8. So I would have 8 hydrogen and plus 4 lots of oxygen, because that 4 would apply to the oxygen as well. Okay, but we don't do that with water. It's not how water is written, but sometimes you will meet brackets around things. Okay, what's next? There's one here. Just look at this one here. So we've got, what are the symbols we've got? Aluminium chloride is the name of it. two elements, aluminium and chlorine, so you'll need to know what these symbols are. Al, aluminium, Cl for chlorine, and then we've got the 3. What is that telling us? We've got one aluminium atom, it's that one there, 3 chlorine atoms, that's those ones there. What is that going to look like for us? So here's an aluminium atom surrounded by 3 chlorine atoms, aluminium chloride. What does this formula tell us? Let's start by looking at the symbols we've got. Well, what's this called anyway? This is in the molecule of alcohol. In actual fact, this one here is actually ethanol. So we've got a carbon, a hydrogen, an oxygen, and another hydrogen over here. So how many different chemicals have I got? How many different elements have I got? I've got 3. I've got a carbon, a hydrogen, and an oxygen in there. So 3 elements. Even though the H is written twice, it's only just the one element. So carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. How many have I got of each? I've got 2 carbon atoms. It's got that little 2 after it. I've got 6 hydrogen atoms because I've got 5 here plus this 1. And that, my mass is correct, equals 6. Okay, so 5 plus 1 equals 6. And 1 oxygen atom. That's making up our alcohol molecule. Now what would that look like? Something like that. There's the black carbons, red oxygen, and surrounded by the little white spheres, the hydrogen. Okay, so that's what ethanol looks like. Righty-ho. Have a go with these ones here. So what have we got? We've got the first one. We have 3 of magnesium and oxygen. So I'm going to have how many molecules altogether? 3 of them. How many elements? 2 of them. How many atoms? Well, I've got 3. Where am I going? 3 molecules times 2 atoms equals 6. So 6 atoms altogether. 3 of magnesium plus 3 of oxygen makes 6. Next one, oxygen. We've got 1 molecule. There's no big number in front of it. There's only 1 element there, and I've got 2 of them. The little 2 tells me we've got 2 of them. Next one, we've got carbon dioxide as our thing here. There's a big 5 there and a 2 there. So number of molecules, that's 5 lots of carbon dioxide, and they're 5. Number of elements, I've got a carbon and an oxygen. So I've got 2 elements. And how many atoms have I got altogether? Well, I've got 5 lots of the carbon and 5 lots of 2 oxygens. How many is that going to add up to? 15. So 5 carbons and 10 of the oxygen. So 5 carbons. So that's that. And we've got the 5 times the 2 equals 10 oxygens. So 5 plus 2 plus the 10 equals 15. Let's look at the next one. Sodium carbonate. How many elements, well, molecules I've got? How many molecules? I've got 2 at the front, so I've got 2 molecules. Boom. Yep. How many elements? There's a sodium. There's a hydrogen. There's a carbon. And there's an oxygen. So I've got 4 different elements. So your turn to think about it. How many atoms altogether am I going to have? There's a couple of sodium, there's a couple of hydrogen, there's a couple of carbon, and there's 2 lots of 3 oxygens makes 6. And what does that all add up to? Should be 12. So we've got 2 of them, 2 of them, 2 of them, plus 6 of those equals 12. Okay, next one. Number of molecules. There's no big number in front. I've only got one. Number of elements. I can see 3 symbols. Okay. Add up the numbers beneath it. How many atoms have we got? 24. Last one. Number of molecules. There's a big number 4 in front of it. Number of elements. I can see 3 different types there. We're going to 4 nitrogen. 4 times 4 hydrogen. That's 16. And 4 of the chlorine. Going to add up to 24 as well. Okay. How good are we getting? How confident are we feeling? Try that one. That's the molecule nylon. How many molecules are we going to have? We've got a big number in front. What's the big number in front? Big number in front is a 2. So we're going to have 2 molecules of nylon. Okay. How many different elements are we going to have? What can I see here? I can see a nitrogen. There's a hydrogen. There's a carbon. We've had that one, it's hydrogen before. There's another nitrogen. Another hydrogen, another carbon, we've met those. Oh, there's a new one. Let's see, an oxygen. Anything new? No. So we've got 4 elements in there. Okay, how many atoms are we going to have? Right, we're going to have 2 of that nitrogen, 2 of that, that's got 10, so we've got 2 times the 5 there. Well, let's just figure out how many elements we're going to have. Atoms start with. The one thing is, let's go back and start again. So we've got a nitrogen, hydrogen, 5, 10, nitrogen, hydrogen, one of them, one of them, one of them. No, sorry, it's 3 of them. 3 of those. One of them, one of them. Let's add all that up. What have we got? So if we do some maths here, so we've got I give up. Let's try what it tells us. We've got 4 elements. 32 times 2 should be 64. Correct me if I'm wrong. We've got, yep, I think that's right. But do let me know if I am wrong. And yeah, that's how we figure out formula. Hope that was helpful. And yeah, if my maths was not correct, do get back to me. But try it for yourself.